to the barn to check on the girls and see how we're doing with our pregnancies. All right. So we're pulling up to the barn, and I am very, very glad that we don't have to make it out to the big barn, and that we're good to just stay right here. Now, I do have fantastic news, and that is that we have water again. So for those of you who didn't know, good morning, Barbara. Good morning, Kim. I think, right? For those of you who didn't know, we spent the last 48 hours with no water here at the farm because the water main in Scottsburg broke. But they got it fixed. And so we have water again, which is a big deal because we were running around collecting water from off the property. Good morning, McGonagall. Good morning, Malfoy. Hi. We were running around collecting water from off property and bringing it in and lugging it in 5-gallon buckets and then pouring it into other buckets for the goats to drink from, and then making sure that it didn't ice over. So it was a lot of work. So we're very glad to not have to do that anymore and to have water back to the farm. So here are our girls this morning. We know some of them. Marco's coming in to say hi. We know that some of them are starting to show some pretty clear signs that they are getting close. And hey, mister, I know, but I already pet you, and I've got other things to do. I wonder where tea time is. She's not coming to say good morning yet. It's interesting. And we're down to 3 days. It is Friday now. Friday morning at 7-something. It's like 6 degrees outside. And we can start having kids on Monday. So we are just around the corner here. So this is Plaza. She's bagging up. So we're going to be walking her to make sure that we're not seeing anything there. This is Zetra. She is one of our larger does. She is dropped pretty significantly. So we'll see what that turns into. Over here, we're standing in the corner, quite isolated. We've got, and we're not really bagging up, and our ligaments are loose. So she's given me some vibes for sure. There's nothing like incredibly off. Just her attitude is a little bit different than what I would expect for her. And her ligaments are quite loose. Yeah. So the ligaments. Okay, let's talk ligaments. All right. So the ligaments are here, in between the tailbone and the hip bone, and for the baby to be able to come out, everything here has to loosen up, relax, ripen face, dilate, right? All those things have to happen. And so these ligaments here, I'm doing a great job of showing it. These ligaments here, you can reach around. Hey, theology, be nice. No, we're not dealing with that. When those ligaments get loose like that, that's a clear indicator that things are beginning to process down there. Things are beginning to get ready. They're going to just start preparing for all of the work that's going to be done down there. All right, let's look at some comments. Kim says good morning, then she says yay for the water, and then she says yes, that I got her name right. Go me. And good morning, Carrie. All right, let's find some other does of interest. Out here, we've got nobody because goats are smart and it is cold and miserable out, but it's a nice little got going. So that's pretty. Oh my gosh, it's so cold out there. The marked difference from inside and outside is wild, guys. It is, I don't want to say toasty in here, but in comparison, it's toasty in here, okay? It is miserable outside. Also, that's Vignette, by the way, the one who I was showing you the ligaments and that she's isolating in the corner. Here's tea time coming for her morning rubs. So tea time is another one of our larger does that we're watching and looking at just because of her size in general. She is, excuse me, the oldest pregnant doe in here. So there is that. She's quite friendly. She loves all the attention, all the pets. And then we've got Zilly here. Zilly's not pregnant. Zilly's a milk-through doe. So you don't have to be alarmed by the sounds she was making. Whereas normally if I came in the barn and I heard that, I'd be like, uh-oh, somebody had a baby. But it's just Zilly. It's just Zilly. Heartland, can you chill with the bucket? Yeah? You mind? No, we're not going to do that? Okay. Good morning, Kay Shepherds. I don't recognize your name. I feel like I do, but I can't pull your name off the top of my head. This is Faya. She's chewing her cud here, being lazy. Now that as soon as I say that, of course, she's going to stop. But these are our waterers. And as you can see, look, guys, we have water. We went through the whole night, and we have water. Well, I guess there's a lot more people now. We had a water main break down the road, and it caused us to have no water for almost 48 hours, which was not fun. I think it was almost 48 hours. Was it 24 or 48? I can't remember, guys. I can't keep my days straight. Good morning, McGonagall. Again. So this is Xandra D. In case you guys don't remember, she is one that Ashton said she was a little bit worried about, and I've been watching as well. She is bagging up a little bit. She does seem to have some stiffness in her joints, and walking seems to be a little bit of a pain in the butt for her. She is 5 months pregnant, so there is no surprise that she is not, running around and frolicking. But just a little bit more than we would like to see, and we would be worried about potentially some babies pressed up against nerves, causing some discomfort, and a lot of that comes from them just kind of growing that last final stage. So anyway, definitely watching her as well. Heartland is the doe over here who has been banging on the bucket all morning. Making all the ruckus. And then this pen over here is, oh my gosh, theology. You need to behave. You are being not nice. She doesn't really get along with a bunch of the other girls. And she gets very jealous of my attention. So when I come over here and I pet Zilly, she's going to come and be mean to Zilly. But it's also something you can see a lot of times as a hint that they're getting close, is that their temperament changes. And while she is normally not the friendliest with all of the other does, she does seem to be a little bit more agitated this morning than normal, a little bit territorial and not having any of the attention that I'm given to anybody else. So something to definitely be watching. Theology. Behave, okay? I'm right here. All right, so as I was saying, these over here are our yearlings. So these girls, I think we have, what, 9 in here? 9 yearlings. And they're the young ones, so they've never had any babies before, but they are also pregnant and due here in the next couple of weeks as well. I don't spend much time with these guys because I don't know what I'm looking for, really. I don't know their personalities. I haven't seen I haven't seen any of their births before. So a lot of the information that I'm here gathering from these girls in this pen, I don't really have the ability to gather that same level of intelligence on those guys. As well as their births tend to be fewer kids, which means less complications in a sense, as well as they tend to be naturally longer, giving you more time to catch the deliveries, as opposed to some of these girls who can just kind of start and really get things progressing very, very quickly. And if things are wrong, then they go wrong very, very quickly. And so knowing when these guys over here, who are much to have triplets and are much more likely to move from 0 to 60, twice as fast, it's a lot more important to have that information on these guys. So that is one of the reasons that I spend so much time over here in these pens as opposed to in the pen with the first fresheners. All right. Well, Vignet's chewing her cud again, so that's good. I got slept in over in the corner too. Theology's walking with me, because, like I said, she's being a little bit jealous right now. She does appear to be bagging up a little bit as well. So definitely things to keep an eye on. All right, my fingers are frozen solid. Oh gosh, so cold. All right, so here is our water from that we lugged in to make sure that we had enough water for these guys. They went through in our water shortage of, so I guess it was only 24 hours because they only went through, so it was 24 hours. They went through in that 24 hours about 40 gallons of water. So not the worst, but certainly not fun to have to lug in 40 it was 40 to 50 gallons. Certainly not fun to have to lug in 40 to 50 gallons of water. But we did it, and it worked out well, and nobody ran out of water, which is important. So here's Jason, our barn cat, one of our barn cats, our oldest barn cat, I should say. And then this is our list. So this is the list that we have showing us who the dam is, who the sire is, when the dates are, and I know that that says February 1st, and that's not my fault, but it does drive me up a wall. And then they'll deliver between February 1st and March 25th, and then it shows whether we're planning on keeping any of their kids or not. So like here, we're going to keep the does plus $1, and that would be for Slender. And then over here, we're going to keep them out of Vignette, and Xandra and Zetra as well are the other 3 that we're planning on keeping does and bucks out of. And then you'll see there's a bunch that we're planning on keeping does out of. I believe this year our goal is to keep 12 doelings. Last year we kept 9, and I believe this year we're looking to keep 12. So that's kind of the plan. And then, so we're starting to get ready. The nice thing about, we were very worried we were not going to have water in time to do our laundry. Because when we deliver the goats, we use towels dry off all of the babies and get all of the birth goo off of them and everything. And we were worried that we were not going to have a way of washing those, which means we would have had to probably end up taking the dirty towels full of barn nests and birth goo back to our own houses to wash in our own washers and dryers, which, thank goodness, we did not have to do. All right, we're going to run over and see the puppies real quick. I don't have a ton of time to spend with them, but hopefully I will hop on this afternoon for a quick live of them as well, because we are down to their last couple days. Today is, no, it's their last day. Today is Friday, and they leave tomorrow, which is kind of sad. All right, so walking in, here's our puppies. They're going to be crazy excited to see me, and then in about 10 minutes, they'll actually settle down. Unfortunately, I don't have 10 minutes. I don't have 10 minutes. So this is Charlie and Martha. And Charlie and Martha are about 8 weeks. So it's been a good 8 weeks to have them with us. So just the two of them in the litter. They are both spoken for, and they both go home tomorrow. So Ashton's going to miss them the most, obviously. She's the one who deals with all of their intensive care, and she spends a lot of time with these guys. So she's definitely going to miss them a lot. She also absolutely loves puppies, because, I mean, who doesn't? But she, more than normal, adores puppies. So it's always a sad day for her, specifically when they go home. But our timing couldn't be better, in the sense that it's hard to deal with too many baby animals at once, and we're about to have a whole lot of baby goats. So having only baby goats instead of baby goats and baby puppies is definitely going to be much better than having both, because that's just a lot to deal with. That's a lot to deal with. All right, well, I am going to go ahead and sign off, guys, but I wanted to end with a cute video of these guys, because they're freaking adorable. Super, super cute. All right, thank you guys for watching, and I hope you all have a great day, and that you guys are able to stay warm, because, my goodness, I'm not sure we're going to be able to stay warm here, but we're going to try our best. All right. Bye, guys.